It's day 5 of the SeedCo National Field Week program, and a lovely welcome to yet another one brought to you by SeedCo Zambia. Today we're discussing SeedCo vegetables, the vegetable basket, production and management. And with me in the studio to look at this is Eric Mwenda, who is SeedCo Zambia Head of Vegetable Business. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Good to have you.
Thank you.
How's it going so far?
So far, so good.
Yes?
We are getting there.
Okay.
Sure.
You can't meet people physically, but
at least we are able to meet them in a different way.
The challenges of life. Before we get into matters to do with our discussion today, we'll take a very short break.
Yo!
Banji!
I'm not sure. How come your crop is far much better than mine? I mean, we are neighbors. My farm is right next to yours.
My dear, this is an open secret.
Tell me.
I switched to SeedCo ever since. My harvest has been good.
SeedCo?
SeedCo has got the right seed for every farmland.
Sure.
See, my friend, I'm telling you, just contact them and find out which is the right seed for you.
Increase your yield this season by using SeedCo Climate Smart Seeds. Call or visit your nearest SeedCo depot for more details on our Climate Smart products. SeedCo, it starts with the right seed.
You're watching the SeedCo National Field Week program. The National Field Week has been running from the 22nd to the 26th of March. Now, let's catch up with Sydney Siachele as he looks at the SeedCo vegetable basket.
SeedCo has a variety of peppers, which you normally call the bell or sweet peppers, that you are offering out to the clients out there. They are nice peppers. Definitely, we have 2 varieties that we are just selling out to our clients. The first variety is Hercules F1. Then we've got another variety which is called Solano F1. It is also a hybrid variety. Hercules F1 is an upright plant which grows to a height of about 1.5 meters in the greenhouse and to a height of about 60 centimeters in the open field. So Hercules F1, it's a more bushy plant. It has got a lot of leafy on it. So that leaf part of it give a farmer an advantage because, you know, peppers are fruits that are prone to sunscorch. So with Hercules F1, because of its leaf structure that it has, it keeps on hiding the fruits on its canopy there, so that it maintains the quality of the fruits, so that as you harvest the fruit, you harvest the fruit that are of good quality. And then it's able to give you about 10 to 12 fruits per plant, which are in the range of 350, 380 grams there. The next variety is Solano F1, which is a yellow pepper. Initially, it turns to its respective color, yellow color. From the day of transplanting, it takes about 85 days for it to turn to that yellow color. So Solano F1, it's a stable plant, a short plant as compared to Hercules F1. It usually bears fruits in the range of 9 to 12 as well, with a fruit size of 280 to 320 grams per fruit. This variety as well, it has got a resistance package for the cucumber mosaic virus and the pepper mosaic virus as well. So as you can see, these 2 varieties that are pepper varieties for SeedCo, they are good varieties that are easy to grow because they usually cut on the cost of production for a farmer. So they are easy to grow, they are farmer-friendly varieties. As for tomatoes, we've got 2 varieties. There is Candela F1 and Alambra F1. All these varieties are indeterminate varieties that can be grown in the tunnel and in the open field. So these varieties are SeedCo bred varieties, which usually meet the market requirements like here in Zambia. They have got good fruits. They are capable of giving you about in the range of 11 to 15 fruits per cluster in their lifespan. So normally for the yield, one plant is able to give you about a box of tomatoes. So which means we're talking about 18 to 24 kgs of tomatoes. So Alambra and Candela F1, these varieties are bred in such a way that they are farmer-friendly variety. Farmer-friendly variety in such a way that they are versatile. They are not difficult to grow. a farmer can grow them anywhere here in Zambia. They suit the local requirements for tomato production here in Zambia. So these varieties, they have got a resistance package in them, like for tomato leaf curl virus and the tomato leaf spot virus. So when a farmer grows these varieties, he's assured of a good harvest. So I'm assuring the farmers out there to say, go for SeedCo tomato varieties, which give you the yield that you expect. They have got a good fruits that have got good shelf life. They have got the fruits have got what we call the thick flesh outside there. So that thick flesh determines the the shelf life of the fruit itself. So with our varieties, they have got good life, the shelf life, and they have got good market requirements like here locally in Zambia. Our next crop is a cucumber variety called Dreamliner F1. It's a good cucumber which grows to the length of about 33 to 40 centimeters in length. This variety is bred both for open field and tunnel production. So we as SeedCo, we have this variety which has given us the courage and the future for our farmers, because it's a good variety that meets the local requirements for cucumber production. So Dreamliner is a good green cucumber which can grow to the length of about in the range of 36 to 40 centimeters in length there. Then it's dark green, attractive in color. Then one plant can give you approximately 72 fruits of that length. Then this variety as well, it has got some resistance packages that are in it. Resistance packages like for diseases like the powdered mildew and the cucumber mosaic virus. So you can see that these varieties, they are bred in such a way that they are able to fight on behalf of the farmer. So we as SeedCo, we have this variety on the farmer's disposal that you can have this variety and try it. It's a variety where you never go wrong. This variety as well, in a period of 1 week, you are able to harvest a good 12 fruits from one plant. We as SeedCo, we are proud to have this variety and encouraging farmers to grow this variety. It's a variety that meets all those local market requirements: export, the supermarkets, and the open markets. The competitive advantage of our SeedCo vegetable varieties over the other varieties that we have on the market. One, with SeedCo varieties, you are assured of a good yield, the quality as well, and they are affordable as well. Then the other thing is that they have that disease resistance that I'm keeping on mentioning, because that's the most important aspect in vegetable production. So that's also another advantage compared to other varieties that other companies are selling out there. The quality of the product itself, then the competitiveness of the product on the market once you have that produce, then the management in terms of diseases and the pests.
Interesting there from Sydney Siachele. But before I bring in my guest, it's going to be important that we also hear from the Sanjita Patel, this time looking at production and management of vegetables.
I will be talking or running you through the management aspects for you to get a high yield or optimum yield from your tomato and pepper crop. We'll look at population, and we'll also look at spacing and some of the other management aspects like disease management, fertilizer, and pest management as well. The recommended population that we are recommending for peppers is between 22,000 and 25,000 plants per hectare. Here in our greenhouse, we've planted at 50 centimeters row spacing, and intra-row spacing, we've put it at 40 centimeters. That will give the crop enough space for air to pass through, for it to have aeration so that disease do not attack it. Let me start with an aspect of before you plant your peppers, what you need to look for. One, you need to test your soils. You need to have the right environment in the soil so that your pepper can grow healthy. This is by having a company come test your soils and let them give you results of the pH of the soil, the fertilizer or the nutrients that are in the soil, so they can give you a good recommendation for you to get a good yield from your peppers. Peppers do not like acidic soils, so you need, if your soils are acidic, you will need to lime them to get them to the right pH so that they will grow healthy and happy. Another aspect that you need to know about soil is you need it to be not compact soil. The root needs to be free to grow, to pick up all the nutrients and water that you are giving it. If you do not have proper land preparation, you are just throwing away nutrients into the soil. The fertilizer you buy that you give to the soil is going to waste. If it's too sandy, it's not holding, it will just leach. So you need to have a good soil type, and you need to have a good soil recommendation from a reputable fertilizer company that will give you the optimum yield from your pepper plant. Another thing to look out for when you are growing your peppers is your pests and diseases. Scouting is a very important thing in growing any kind of vegetable. You need to walk through your field, you need to go through it, you need to check how your plant is growing. You need to have an eye to see if there are any pests that are there. Once you see anything that looks alarming, if you are not sure about it, please contact an agronomist. SeedCo has very good agronomists that you can contact at any time to help you with what you need and to recommend something that will help control either your disease or your pest. Peppers sometimes can grow very tall, especially in a greenhouse, and they might need to be trellised. So you need to trellis them so that they do not lie on the floor. Anything that's lying on the floor can easily be attacked by diseases, and once a disease comes in, it spreads up very quickly. So we need to keep the crop clean, and that way we will get optimum yields from that crop. So tomatoes as well you need a good population for them. Too low a population in a hectare will not give you the returns on investment. Too high a population, again, you'll be suffocating the crops and they'll just be attacked by too many diseases because there's no air flowing through the canopy of the crop. So you need to have an optimum population for it to perform. And normally we recommend between 15,000 and 22,000 plants per hectare. Open field you can go higher so that you have more plants to give you the ultimate harvest. The spacing that you can use for tomatoes here in our greenhouse, we've used 1.5 meters between the rows and 40 centimeters between plants. Even with tomatoes, it's important for you to know your soils. So soil tests will always be a recommendation from our agronomists, from our side at SeedCo. It is important for you to know what's in your soil, for you to know the acidity of your soil. Every crop depends on what is in the soil. Whether your soil is acidic, you need to correct it. What nutrition is in the soil, or what you need to add to the soil for your crop to perform. Another thing, when you transplant your tomatoes, it's always advisable you put something in the planting hole for either an early disease or an early insect attack. Tomatoes are also very prone to nematodes on the roots, so it's also advisable you put a nematicide in the planting hole to prevent them from attacking your tomatoes very early. Once you've transplanted your tomatoes, again, it's always good to walk through your tomatoes, scout your tomatoes, look through the tomatoes. Tomatoes are very prone to diseases, and once they get attacked by diseases, it's quite difficult for you to go into the curative aspect. So you want to try and prevent those diseases from attacking your tomato. When you plant, especially in a greenhouse, the tomatoes, it's actually advised to leave 2 main stems on your plant. 2 main stems will give you the ultimate clusters, the ultimate yield from the tomato plant. Another important aspect in management is pruning. You will have to prune your bottom leaves. Any leaves or any branches that are touching the ground are a source of disease. Most disease comes from the soil, so if your leaves are on the soil, they will climb up to the leaves, and then they'll climb up the plant. So it's very important to prune your tomato plant to prevent diseases. Another aspect we need to look at is the pests and diseases when your tomato is established. Most of these diseases and the pests come in once your fruit set has begun. So you need to start putting a preventative spray. Sometimes even though you haven't seen the pest on the tomato, it's always advisable to put a spray every week for your insects and your diseases, especially in the rain season where the atmosphere is very favorable for these diseases, especially outdoor cropping. You need to spray every week. Get your chemical agronomist to put up a program for you. They know they can put up a program for you to follow every week for what to spray weekly for you to prevent these diseases. Prevention is always better than cure. Once the disease is in your plant, it has already started doing the damage. So you need to prevent that disease. The pests as well. Some of them, once they attack your tomato, it takes longer for you to actually control them. When you are trying to control these pests, you're already losing on yield because the plant goes into stress mode where it starts to fight off whatever disease and pest and does not concentrate on the production of your crop. So these are the aspects that can reduce your yield, and it's something that farmers need to pay attention to when they are growing tomatoes.
Well, thank you to Sanjita and Sydney. Now, let me bring in my guest for today. It's Eric Mwenda, Head of Vegetable Seed Business. Good to have you once again.
Thank you.
So, apart from what we've seen in the clips, what other varieties does SeedCo put on the market?
First of all, before we actually talk of varieties, we're actually talking about a full basket of the products that we have at SeedCo. We've got the hybrid varieties of different types. We've got tomatoes, we've got cabbages, we've got sweet peppers, we've got rape. It's quite a wide range of products. And apart from that, we also have what we are calling open pollinated variety. These are just more or less like traditional varieties like bondwe and all that. So it's quite a wide range of products, okra, and all that. So it's actually a basket that we feel that it actually takes care of what the Zambian farmer needs.
Right.
Sure.
I know that some of them are out of season at the moment. What happens?
Yeah, of course, some of them may not be out of season, but in one way or the other, we've got something that a farmer can actually grow at that particular moment. Because, of course, certain varieties may not, or certain types of crops may not be grown at a different times. So we actually able to provide what the farmer can use, actually grow at that particular time.
What's the takeaway from what Sanjit said?
In terms of Sanjeta, I think the most important thing that the farmer should actually take note is that when you are managing a crop, you're actually taking care of a crop from the time that you are seeing it planted up to the time that you are harvesting it. Now, the most important thing is how do you manage the crop in terms of the fertilizer requirement, because the soil in which the crops are growing, they have got quite different minerals that are there. So the most important thing that is there is that this crop must actually grow in that soil environment where it's able to take note of whatever is available, so it's able to reach the quality and the quantity that the farmer will need. And then apart from that, it's also important to take care of the diseases that are found in the environment, because we cannot control the environment. So the diseases are all there, the insects are all there. So it's very, very important that we actually control some of those diseases and some of those insects that may actually reduce the yield of the farmer.
So you also looked at acidity of the soils. How important is knowledge of what sort of soils?
Yeah, it's actually a very important question. So what it is there is that in every soil environment, there's what is called acidity of the soil, and there's what is called alkalinity of the soil. So there's a measure in which this particular crop should actually grow. So it's actually a scale where you are able to say when the crop reaches this kind of a standard, it cannot grow very well. So when we talk about acidity, it means that the soil has got too much salt, the plant will not able to take up the nutrients that are there. And it becomes very, very difficult for the crop to grow in the soil where it's got a high acidity. So it's very, very important to actually control the acidity. And this is the reason why you have heard certain farmers have actually applied lime. So the application of lime is actually to control the acidity level in the soil, to allow the plant to take the nutrients that are available there and grow very well and get the profit that the farmer.
One of the biggest popular people want to grow tomatoes, but how much should one plant for them to be able to to break even, as they say?
So I think the most important thing is actually to look at one particular plant of tomato. What is it that the farmer should get? Of course, with the hybrid variety that SeedCo has, we've got Candela F1, we've got Alambra F1. So in terms of those varieties, we're actually saying from one particular plant, a farmer is able to get 120 fruits from one plant, which are weighing about 160 grams. And when you do the calculation, you find that from one particular plant, a farmer is able to get about 19 kgs of fruit from one particular plant. But what we are saying is that because the farmers grow into different environments at certain times, even if they get 50% of that, which is about 10 kg, they are able to get what we are calling half a box of tomatoes. You know, at the Soweto market that we have in Zambia here, at the main market, we are able to get half a box of tomato. That's quite very good from one particular plant. So that way, a farmer is able to make break even and actually make more money out of that particular.
I like it when you mention money. But before I let you go, what are the key elements that one should look out for? Just how is the vegetable market in this country?
First of all, the vegetable market in this country is a growing market, and the most important thing what you should know is that the farmers need to know the specific markets where they're supposed to take. We've got the open market where you go to Soweto and these other places. And then apart from that, we've got the supermarkets where you're able to take them. And apart from that, we've got the hotels, the tourism industry. So in that particular environment, that's also another market for the vegetables. And this is why we are trying to encourage our farmers to, first of all, know the market where they're supposed to take the crop, and then eventually now they can start growing this particular crop.
Right. And the seedlings you sell, all of these you mentioned.
So what it is in terms of the seedlings, we've got the growers that do the seedlings, which we are calling young plant raisers. So we've got a lot of them in different areas of our high growing areas. So any of our farmer that wants to get the seedlings actually a small plant that the farmer can actually grow, they are found with those young plant raisers, which are dotted across the country.
Excellent.
Thank you.
I think you make me want to do this more and more. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. You're most welcome, frankly.
Eric Mwenda, Head of Vegetable Seed Business, SeedCo Zambia, with me on day 5 of the SeedCo National Field Week program. Before I completely say goodbye, let's take a short break.
Yo!
Banji!
I'm not sure. How come your crop is far much better than mine? I mean, we are neighbors. My farm is right next to yours.
My dear, this is an open secret.
Tell me.
I switched to SeedCo ever since. My harvest has been good.
SeedCo?
SeedCo has got the right seed for every farmland.
Sure.
See, my friend, I'm telling you, just contact them and find out which is the right seed for you.
Increase your yield this season by using SeedCo Climate Smart Seeds. Call or visit your nearest SeedCo depot for more details on our Climate Smart products. SeedCo, it starts with the right seed.
Well, this is just about it, and we've come to the end of day 5 of the SeedCo National Field Week for this year. We want to thank you for having stayed with us throughout the 5 days, and we look forward to being with you with SeedCo as they co-host the same next year, hopefully at your farm, because we want COVID to go, but maybe it could be virtual like this. So on behalf of everybody else who's been part of this production, I'm Franklin Tembo Jr. Remember to plant SeedCo. Goodbye.